Hi everyone, it's the English Simmer here, and welcome to one of my favorite videos to record when we get a new pack for The Sims 4. And this is my cross-pack compatibility check. See how the brand new expansion, which is of course The Sims 4 Lovestruck, actually works with all the other packs that we have in The Sims 4. You lot have given me some ideas on this one. You've requested a bunch of things that you want me to check out and make sure work or don't work the way that we probably think they should work most of the time. So let's just get into it. Hopefully we'll be head over heels at the end of this video, but it might turn us off. First off, I know one of the biggest questions that most people have are what are the date activities? And honestly, I'm kind of scared about this one because I'm fairly sure they've like literally already listed all of the things available. Even if you're only playing with base game, it gave you 3 additional ones. So let's do a romantic date, and then I mean, we could check that whilst we're here. I have had questions saying, can you invite pets out on your date? Yes, you can have them as a guest. I'm gonna assume that if you are kind of already like romantically interested in someone, like you already know them and like you've already know their animal, I imagine you'll be able to invite their animals as well. Obviously not the ones that are like tied to items such as chickens or llamas or cows, probably even horses. Let's be real. You could probably go on a date with a couple, and if they both own horses, go on dates with those horses, which honestly kind of interesting to test because I would like to see if you could like direct them where to go. So these ones are all base game. I don't really know why singing is included in base game because I'm like 99% sure that singing, like the skill and also just being able to like sing on a microphone, was only introduced in city living with like either karaoke or being able to sing like actually just using the microphone, and then also singing about holidays. So I don't particularly know why that one is listed, but pretty much everything else is all base game apart from these 3 right here. Animals, interact with animals, talk about the activities, requires either cats and dogs, cows if you want to go to like a farm lot if you have set that up. Also hamsters from My First Pet Stuff if you want to go for a date at Pets at Home, why the heck not. Play in the snow, obviously that is included in seasons, and also skating, which is also seasons. I am super disappointed about this. I for some reason was maybe holding out hope that there would be cross-pack activities that weren't listed, but with these 3 I was like, I'm fairly sure they're just going to be the only 3. I don't know why bowling isn't included. I don't know why like going to the cinema, if you have growing together, obviously it is just like a rabbit hole, but still going shopping together, if you have like get to work and the shopping system. I just feel like there's so many more activities, knitting, cross stitch, a bunch of like creative opportunities that they haven't put in here, and it just feels really unfinished in my opinion. I do actually now want to go for animals. I want to test out like horses and baby cows and sheep. Let me get that set up real quick. I did realize the issue with that would be to have like small animals like the goats and stuff, and also to like interact with cows and llamas. They actually have to be on a residential because you have to like purchase them through the sim that you're playing. So that's gonna be a lot of setup. We'll also do play in snow. So let's go tell a joke to one of the mini goats or sheep that obviously came with Horse Ranch. See if that ticks off the interact with animals. Okay, it does. We can also play in the snow. I'm gonna build a snow pal together, and I'm assuming that this is gonna tick it off. I'm assuming having like a snowball fight or making snow angels would also have an effect. God, they both look stuck. Ask how cows make milk. Oh my lord, do you two want to move so that we can actually talk to you? Hello, little llama. Oh, he doesn't agree. Okay, interacting with them also works. I'm going to assume that interacting with chickens also works, but good to know that those are both ticked off. We are going to end this day early because this wasn't really for you. Nice to know that you can just like interact with all the animals in the game and also bring over your little pets with you to dates if you want. Obviously, mostly horses, cats, and dogs because these ones aren't classed as pets, so therefore you can't bring them with you. Let's check out how this works with Dine Out though, because obviously Dine Out introduced restaurants. Restaurants have been working a little bit better for me, I'm not gonna lie. They're still not the most smooth thing I've ever witnessed. Oh my goodness, are you fecking kidding me? Why are you all declining me? Eliza, we're literally married. I mean, we do have awful compatibility, but that's only because I wanted to test the opposites attract sentiment, and that hasn't even popped yet. We're gonna do be romantic, food, and drinks, and then you can already choose to go to a restaurant. So at least that is listed as a place that you can actually have a date. You can also have a date at retail. What I'm interested to know is if this actually opens up some like different interactions that you can do, because when you go to a gym, there's like a couple of things that you can do that make it kind of feel like you're on a gym date. Like you can compliment their fitness. I don't want to test like every single available like location for dates, but it would be interesting to see if they've introduced like any new interactions to kind of go with the location that you head to. When it comes to like talk about drinks, an interaction related to this goal can be found in the friendly pie menu. Usually it is under small talk. You can talk about indulgent drinks. You can tell because it's got this like little date icon next to it, but it would be interesting to see if that is actually ticked off if you talk about the food that you're actually about to eat. I'm gonna talk about the drinks because I'm not sure if you can just like generally talk about drinks or like the drink that you are having in the game, but I know you can definitely talk about like the specific food that you are eating. Now I have the talk about food one. So again, if we go to friendly and small talk, they have talk about savory food. Beam blissful feelings of food transcendence, savor the flavors. Let's savor the flavors. That's obviously a food interaction that just came with Dine Out. I personally don't think that's going to tick off like the talk about food. I think they literally want you to go to the small talk interaction that came with Lovestruck. So it's not really integrating super well, but obviously like this very much, yeah, it didn't tick off. So it absolutely wants you to do the new small talk. I'm still so sad that they didn't give us different proposals or like footsie under tables. I was fully expecting like Sims 1 hot date kind of a scenario. I know like obviously it kind of has to do with restaurants, but like you can just have a romantic meal at home. Like you can propose over the table and do footsie at home. I can't really see anything different about like the kind of interactions that we can do. I think because they like focused on like gym dates in so much of the promo, they actually just added in like a couple of those like gym interactions, but they didn't really do it for other venues. We're gonna change a venue. We're gonna stick to the eating and drinking theme though, because a ton of you have asked me how or if the cottage living picnic basket and the new blanket that comes in Lovestruck actually like integrate with each other. I honestly have barely used the picnic basket, I'm not gonna lie, so I might be a little bit rusty on how this works by itself. Then whilst he's making that, let's also go to his shopping. Let's purchase romantic items. There is a little bit of cross pack here. This is really, really handy when you're on a date and you're like, oh shoot, like I want to do this interaction, but I don't really have anything. So you can buy flowers here. You can also buy different like nectar if you have horse ranch. You can buy jewelry if you have crystal creations. Let's put that basket into his inventory. We can set up picnic. Okay, but that's just all the things that you are able to do anyway. Okay, it does slot on, which looks good. Set up picnic basket. Eliza. Oh, we can still only invite just like one sim to it, but this is interesting. So they kind of like gather around. Now I understand why only like 2 Sims can use it. And then let's empty, wait, what? I'm confused. You can only have 1 dish at a time. You can't like have a full selection of different like picnic pieces. Also, when you're hosting a picnic, they will just like swipe as many plates as possible. Like they will just eat every single piece of food. You can also, for example, if you want to bring like a kid along to a date or somebody else, like you want to bring your mum, they can't sit on the picnic blanket with them. Let's try and join picnic, see if that works either. Oop. It looks like he's, okay, so he's sat on a nearby park bench, but he's still technically part of the picnic. So they can actually interact with each other. Not too sure how it actually works, because it just seems like my Sims did that without me even trying to do anything whilst I was figuring it out. But there we go. Let's see if there's any new cross-pack with get together. You do have the new romance consultant listed as a career. Obviously, the 2 new traits listed in traits, and I'm assuming the romance skill is listed here as well. You can play Who's Up party games, which obviously came with Lovestruck, and then you can also wear costumes from the costume trunk. They're both listed under fun and games. Look for breed or release axolotls. That's cute. I like that the axolotls got a little look. Also great for those of you who are ever doing an all collections challenge, because there are a ton of axolotls to collect. There isn't anything to do with the picnic blanket though, which I do find weird considering picnicking is new in this expansion. I was expecting like go for picnics or something to be a club activity, but alas it's not. Lods. I just added a couple of them into it, but I actually want to see if the club outfits, if we go custom male adult, this is usually what I do when I set up like hen and stag do's, bachelorette parties. I invite my friends to a club and then I do like dancing, romance, like whatever club activities you want on that hen and stag do. I want to see, thank goodness for that, all of the new outfits, because they're in Creator Sim, they're all applicable. So you can get all of your stags dressed up as different sexy firefighters if you want, or they can all go around wearing Cupid or naked butlers. This is great. This is like Chip the Dancer. Oh my god, it is like a traditional bachelor party. Why do we not have dancers popping out of cakes in Lovestruck? I know a couple of people were asking about the costumes when it came to like spooky parties, because obviously spooky parties you get to like wear costumes. This is something I didn't know. I didn't know that the like dates were also listed in just like the social events. Obviously this is a very small pool of Sims, so I don't know if this will actually show like who has what on and if it's even like a possibility. Doesn't look like any of them right now have any of the new outfits on. We've got like a pizza delivery, which by the way, if you do have the costume chest, a lot of different ones are actually listed. So you have like fairy. I think this one actually came with spooky stuff, so it does also have spooky stuff thrown in there. But yeah, no one has on any of the new outfits. Now, I don't want to definitely say that they're maybe not going to turn up in those outfits ever, but I mean, we have so many costumes now and so many outfits. Like, your Sims can still, at a spooky party, get changed into the new ones, but it doesn't seem like townies will just wear them. Of course, with seasons, we got the flower arranging table, and with Lovestruck, we actually do get some new bouquets that you can purchase to gift. When My Wedding Stories came out, they actually introduced like wedding bouquets to the flower arranging table. It doesn't actually look as if they've potentially added the new ones, but I kind of want him to make a wedding bouquet and then see if he can like give those. I know you can always kind of give them as a romantic gift anyway. You can give a romantic gift, which obviously if we then go and purchase one and we say exotic elegance flower bouquet, he's got that in his inventory now. Liza, if you could stop walking off, that would be absolutely fecking great. She just does not want to be around this man. They do have a glass jar on, and then they're also a bouquet bouquet. They're also glitched out right now. They stay in your Sim's inventory. I don't know why that is. That was happening to me in early access, but obviously then we have these ones. So let's see if we can also give those as gift flowers. Okay, so you can give the wedding bouquet that we actually just created. What was that? Exotic elegance flower bouquet. Again, they kind of have the same thing where it's like the stems are coming out of their glass and they are also still having the glitch. Potentially, if I up his flower arrangement to like level 10, just so that we have everything, definitely doesn't look like the new ones are included, which I mean, I personally don't think is the end of the world. You might disagree with me on that one, but I think we already have so many different like flower options that I'm fine with them not doing cross-pack compatibility when it comes to that. I don't know what the difference between present romantic gift and like give romantic gift is. There seems to be a lot of interactions here that all do the same thing, and it's honestly just like really cluttered. I don't really know why you need 3 different versions of giving flowers. Also, when it comes to seasons, we did actually get a ceiling fan and then also a little like wall fan in this new pack in Lovestruck. They do spin and like work, but they're not actually compatible with seasons. They won't cool your sim down in summer. I've also surprisingly had a lot of questions about occult when it came to this pack, and I was like, I mean, they don't really feel different from any other sim, so a lot of the romance, the turn-ons, the turn-offs, all kind of works the same way, but there is actually, if we go to pack settings and then you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can actually disable occult sims on Cupid's corner, so they can just like not appear if you want them to. However, then also a bunch of you were like, what about fated mates from werewolves? Are they actually like considered at all? And I'm gonna say no. We are fated mates with Lou right now. These werewolves are tied together for life by the strings of fate. However, she is feeling neutrally attracted to him. I mean, obviously we haven't done like too many interactions here. I honestly don't really know what fated mate does anyway. Like, to me, it kind of just seems like a label that doesn't really have a lot of effect. Apparently, romantic interactions are actually more successful when you're a fated mate, but that doesn't mean that you're more or less attracted to someone. That still fully just depends on your attraction system actually that you've set through Lovestruck with your turn-ons and turn-offs. So really not too much of an effect. Like, obviously you can play up to it in the lore. You can go edit their turn-ons and turn-ons actually within Create a Sim so that they are very attracted to each other. And then, I mean, Lou is like, boom, I want a date right now. Romance is actually going up incredibly quickly. It would be interesting to see. I haven't really set like turn-ons and turn-offs, and it also seems like romantic interactions are just like more successful all round. They got to kiss really early on. We will ask about his personality attraction. He likes taken sims, health and sports skills, sense of humor, emotional decision makers, and nature enthusiasts. I mean, yeah, that adds up. Black, gray, country fashion, preppy fashion, doesn't like green hair or pink clothes. Can I ask you if you find me? Ask for attraction level. Don't mind discussing it, but I'm not open to any kind of romance style right now. Attraction? You're right, I guess. I don't think anything is particularly wrong with you, at least. So they both have a very neutral attraction to one another. But personally, I don't think like the attraction system really has that much of an effect. You can't really notice it all that much. It was already easy to romance sim, so it doesn't really add a lot to the game in my personal opinion, especially when you're already fated mates and your chances of success were already that much higher. People definitely have questions about how like growing together and then also this works, because obviously there's the system of social compatibility in growing together and then chemistry and attraction in in this one, which is more like based on romance. As you can see, their romance is actually really, really good, which is wild because they're both like unattracted to each other, but that doesn't mean that it's unable to romance each other. It just means that it goes up at a slower rate because it goes up in smaller increments, whereas their friendship doesn't go up quite as much because anytime he like talks about his hobbies, such as like video gaming, she's like, I'm not into them in my social compatibility. So she kind of like turns him down when it comes to friendship, which is having like a negative effect on their friendship bar. That's kind of the best way that I can explain it. Like, they're definitely still separate from each other because social compatibility only affects the friendship bar, whereas attraction only affects the romance bar. However, then if you also on top of that add on like the dynamics, which they don't have any dynamics right now. They don't have any from Growing Together. They don't have any from Lovestruck. But say, for example, if we had the wholesome one, that may have an effect on friendship, but I doubt it. It just means that they kind of like do friendly interactions together. That could honestly even have a negative effect on their friendship because they would be like trying to be friendly and then Bob's friendly wouldn't match up to Eliza's friendly, and that might actually detract from their friendship. Also, Bob has completely different like love languages from Eliza. He only really likes affection and gift giving, whereas she doesn't like gift giving. So whenever she flirts or is like physically intimate with him, he's not super satisfied with that. God, the pop-up overload is wild. It's quite cute though. Like, even autonomously, he's still doing the things that she likes. Like, he's still flirting with her. They're doing an awful lot of romance. Even though it said that they were going to do friendly as well, there's an awful lot of romance going on. Definitely a hard one to test out though. Just know social compatibility more affects the friendship bar, whereas romantic chemistry, turn-ons, attraction, whatever the hell you want to call it, affects the romance bar. These two are complete opposites. For the life of me, I cannot get the opposites attract sentiment to pop. That comes in Snowy Escape. He's a slob, he's also gloomy and a loner. She is a perfectionist, neat and cheerful. They are quite literally polar opposite ends of the spectrum, and for whatever reason, that cannot pop. I also don't know the cheat to actually get that sentiment to happen. I have a list of base game cheats. I don't know the ones for the Snowy Escape sentiments. I personally, again, like Fated Mates, I can't really see it having that much of an effect. I guess because it is based off traits rather than anything else, it's obviously not going to take into account the attraction system, like turn-ons and turn-offs. It will still just be tied to those polar opposite traits that you can choose in Create a Sim. Therefore, their attraction will still be based off their turn-ons and turn-offs in Lovestruck rather than like the opposites attract, if you get what I mean. So they could have that sentiment, but then they could still both be very unattracted to each other in the turn-ons and turn-offs system, because that's the way it's programmed for Lovestruck, hence it's the pack. And it's the pack that it came with, and therefore Snowy Escape Opposites Attract isn't going to have any influence on that. That's the way that I want to guess that it works. I would be shocked if it worked any differently. It's basically the exact same as Fated Mates. Like, that's the sentiment that you can have. Does it affect your attraction? No, because attraction is tied to Lovestruck and turn-ons and turn-offs, and not the kind of sentiments you feel. Also, just whilst I've been playing with like other packs installed and Lovestruck, I did actually do the 7-date challenge, which is like a mysterious call that you can get. If you complete it, you receive a prize money award. I actually have a video coming up on Wednesday where I do that challenge, so keep an eye out for that. It's very, very fun. However, if you also complete that and you actually get 7 perfect dates, then you also go up in your fame if you have Get Famous, which is really interesting. My sim jumped from a no stars to a 3-star celebrity, so it actually adds a lot to your fame, obviously, because you're on like reality television, which I think is great. That's like a 90-day fiance scenario. I thought that was just so funny, and a nice little bit of cross-pack compatibility that I feel most people either won't experience. And then also, when it comes to penthouses, you can now set these as residential rentals. They work both on the city living ones that we obviously already had within the game, and the new penthouses you can now also set those for rental residential. And the new career doesn't have any university degrees tied to it whatsoever. Believe me, I cheated every single one. So there we have it. That's hopefully all the cross-pack compatibility. This one was a lot harder than like any others I feel like I've had to do, because it's always harder when it's like based on systems and seeing like the effect that they play. And also there's so many like different systems now in The Sims 4, I feel like it gets confusing. So if it was confusing, if I got anything like muddled up or mixed up in my brain or in your brain, feel free to leave like comments down below, questions. Also, if there's other cross compatibility bits that you do think of that I haven't gone over in this video but you would quite like to know, either I or someone else, if they have like the packs required, will probably at some point do it. So I will try and like answer as many as possible. Just keep in mind that the super like small tedious things are quite hard to test when it's like big systems like this. But I hope this was helpful. I hope I covered the majority of things that people wanted to know about cross-pack compatibility. I still have to say I am slightly disappointed with this pack. I was expecting more from a romance pack, to be completely honest. I just think the focus on like big systems that also just like kind of work together and like against each other all the time kind of took away from making this feel as if we had like new ways to date, new activities to do on dates, and just kind of like the funness that I was expecting from a pack like this. I'm glad we have the picnic basket available on the picnic blanket. I like that you can buy different romance items. I think that's really helpful. I am disappointed by the lack of activities and cross-pack in the dates, especially when they like focus so heavy on that date system. That definitely feels like a huge missed opportunity, and I don't really understand the choice behind it when we have all of these other packs that offer like good date ideas. It just feels like they're kind of ignoring like the hard work that they put into those other packs, you know, and really making the most out of this game. But definitely let me know how you feel down below. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Sorry if this was a confusing one, but I do appreciate everyone reaching out and being like, could you look at this? Could you look at that? I hope I did it justice, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.